Property disputes account for a significant volume of litigation in India. Landlord-tenant relationships often devolve into disagreements, particularly over rent, deposits, maintenance, and use of the leased premises. With the intention of maintaining the upper hand in such disputes and to potentially recover rents or force tenants to vacate the premises, landlords often resort to disconnection of essential utilities such as water supply and electricity. Although a common practice, this unauthorized disconnection of essential services is unlawful. This article aims to examine what constitutes essential utilities or essential services in a leasehold arrangement, the legal framework that prevents unauthorized disconnection of essential utilities by landlords, and safeguards provided to tenants under law.
What constitutes essential utilities? In general parlance, essential utilities refer to water, gas, and electricity. Essential utilities have been given a specific definition under the Maharashtra Rent Control Act, 1999, and the Tamil Nadu Buildings, Lease and Rent Control Act, 1960, which includes supply of water, electricity, lights in passages and staircases, lifts and conservancy or sanitary service, and supply of water, electricity, passages, staircases, light, lavatories, lifts, and conservancy or sanitary service respectively. In states such as West Bengal and Karnataka, where tenancy laws have limited applicability and are less comprehensive, there are fewer regulations that protect tenants and ensure that these essential services are provided or not tampered with by the landlord during the subsistence of the tenancy to meet ulterior goals. It is settled law that electricity and water are basic services which cannot be denied to any person. In the context of electricity, the Supreme Court in Dilip versus Satish, Dilip Shah, held as follows. It is now a well-settled proposition of law that electricity is a basic amenity of which a person cannot be deprived. Electricity cannot be declined to a tenant on the ground of failure or refusal of the landlord to issue a no-objection certificate. All that the Electricity Supply Authority is required to examine is whether the applicant for electricity connection is in occupation of the premises in question. Relying on Dilip Shah, the High Court of Delhi in Sudarshan Kumar Sharma versus State NCT of Delhi held that electricity is an essential service of which a person cannot be deprived without cogent, lawful reason. In Noble Plastic Industry versus Karnataka Power Transmission Corporation Limited, Noble Plastic, the High Court of Karnataka held that electricity and water are essential amenities of life. Any illegal interference in the supply of those amenities would seriously affect the life and liberty of a person. And as long as a tenant is in occupation of the premises and the relationship of landlord and tenant continues, and if there are no arrears of electricity charges, it is not permissible for the landlord to disconnect the electricity supply. The High Court of Madras in Cosmo Towers Owners Association versus Chennai Metropolitan Water Supply and Sewerage Board observed that disconnection of water supply is a deprivation of the fundamental right guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution of India, which includes the right to livelihood, and the same consists of water supply to sustain such livelihood. Disconnection of essential utilities by the landlord in case of illegal occupants, permissible or not. Disconnection of essential utilities irrespective of a tenant occupying the leasehold premises in a lawful manner or in an unlawful manner cannot be utilized as a tool to enforce payment of rent or to even evict the tenant. In case of tenants illegally occupying the leasehold premises, lessors are often faced with situations where such tenants continue to occupy the leasehold premises even when the period of lease has lapsed by efflux of time or without making payment towards rental dues, either on account of unlawful withholding of the premises or disputes with the landlord on issues relating to security deposit, etc. The issue that arises for consideration in such a situation is whether the lessor is required to provide essential services such as water and electricity to illegal occupants. On the issue of providing essential services to illegal occupants, it is necessary to account for the fact that the issue of possession or illegal occupation needs to be contested and established in civil proceedings under applicable laws. In cases where a landlord takes steps to enter the premises to evict an occupant, whether legal or illegal, without recourse to the due process of law, and in an attempt to achieve such end disconnects essential services such as water and electricity, is amenable to criminal proceedings for trespass by the tenant or occupant. It is also imperative to consider that any action by a landlord without appropriate eviction action having been taken could potentially provide the lessee with an arguable case for interim protection pending an order that they are in illegal occupation of the leased premises. In order to obtain expeditious relief, a lessee may even approach the jurisdictional High Court by filing a writ petition against the relevant electricity providing authorities seeking reconnection of services. Given the nature of the dictum of the Karnataka High Court in Noble Plastic, courts may take a view that in the event that there are no arrears of electricity charges, the action of the electricity board in disconnecting electricity at the instance of the landlord is illegal, and that the board concerned ought to take steps to restore electricity to the premises. From a review of the extant law and judicial precedent, it is clear that essential services such as water and electricity constitute basic human rights. While a robust legislation to protect tenancy rights is being deliberated, until it is enforced, the law as laid down in judicial precedent will act as a guardian of rights of tenants and illegal occupants against illegal action by a landlord seeking to deprive them of essential services.